Hi, welcome to this practice of tuning into yourself through breath and sensation. And the idea of today's practice is to experience a quality of inner stillness that will allow you to connect to your intuition and to start cultivating a quality of attention that will help give rise to a very clear intention about what you might want to choose to turn the focus of your attention to in this program and in your life. And in this practice, there will be a lot of opportunities to close your eyes and to go within and really sense yourself and your breath. So I invite you to enjoy that aspect of the practice today. And joining us for practice today is Hattie. And Hattie, we're going to begin with a little bit of tuning in to the space around us and then to the space inside of us. So go ahead and take a comfortable seat. You can rest your hands on your lap or on your knees. And for a moment, actually see the space around you. Take a moment and have a sense of where you are, maybe turning the gaze around a little bit, and seeing colors and shapes and feeling really grounded right here in the space. And then feel free to close your eyes or drop your gaze. And imagine that you could open up your ears. You're going to listen to the space around you for a few moments, listening to both silence and sounds. And now just sense the space around you through the skin of your whole body, as if you had a 360-degree view of the space around you through the skin of your own body. And now drop that awareness a little bit more internal, sensing the space inside you through the breath. And notice how it feels to breathe in and breathe out. And I invite you to place one or both hands somewhere on your body where you feel that spaciousness of the breath, maybe the belly or the chest or the rib cage. Take a few breaths, really sensing that quality of expansion as you breathe in, and kind of settling in and sinking down as you breathe out. You're going to let this sense of your own breath really determine the pace of your movements in this practice today. So go ahead and open your eyes and let your hands come to rest on your knees or your shins. And we're going to take a little bit of a bowing and spine movement practice here. On the in-breath, lift the heart a little bit, draw the shoulders back, even gaze forward and up. And as you exhale, reverse all of that. Draw your chin in, around the back. Inhale, sit up nice and tall again, all the way through the crown of your head. Then exhale, bend your elbows and bow in. Let's do that with the breath. Inhale, rise. And at your pace, exhale, rounding back. Inhale, lifting up. And find that easy surrender as you exhale, bowing in. Take a couple more rounds at your own pace, really honoring the sense of noticing when the breath is happening and letting the movements reflect the pace of your own breath. Maybe even taking this last round with your eyes closed and sensing from the inside what this movement feels like. Nice. And on this last bow, go ahead and stretch your hands out in front of you. Take a nice deep bow. And turn your attention to the sensation of breath in your belly, even the sensation of the breath in your back body. Noticing that that same quality of expansion can wrap all the way around behind the lungs into the back ribs. When you're ready, on an inhale, come back up to center. We're going to create that same quality of expansion, that feeling of the breath in the sides of your body. So go ahead and take your right hand out to the right. I want you to really lean into it. So you're going to even come off center a little bit, and really drop that weight into the right hand. And on an inhale, stretch your left arm all the way up and over until you feel a lot of sensation in that side body. Great. And now you're going to anchor back down through that lifted hip by pushing into your right arm until you feel both sides of the hips down. Beautiful. And in this moment here, turn your attention to that feeling of expansion again right here in your side body. Even thinking about stretching from the inside out. So as you inhale, deepening the sensation along the side body. And allowing that opposition of reaching up and rooting back down through your hip to create a lot of space and movement right here. Take another breath like that. Cool, and on your next inhale, come all the way up. Pause for a moment. You might even bring your left hand to that left side body. Maybe close your eyes and just sense the breath here for a breath or two, noticing how much space has been created. And then let's balance it out and go in the other direction. So when you're ready, root down through that left hand. You can bend into the elbow a little bit, really sink in. Maybe that right hip pops up. Inhale, take your arm all the way overhead, stretch. And when you feel like you've got as much stretch as you can through that right side of your body, push down through the heel of your left hand, maybe even straighten that elbow, and feel your right hip press back down into that blanket. Yeah. And you can turn your gaze in whatever direction feels most comfortable, or even close your eyes here. So you can again go right into that sensation of side body breathing. That the deepening of this pose comes from the deepening of your own breath. Take one more full breath here. And on your next inhalation, come all the way up to center. And exhale, relax. Bring one hand, go ahead and bring that right hand to the side of the body, yeah. And let's take a moment and again, just sense the space that you created for yourself here. Can you feel that? Yeah. Okay, let's come to all fours. We can move that blanket out of the way. Unless you want the blanket for padding underneath your knees. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start with that same kind of spine movement that we did cross-legged. On an in-breath, you're going to relax the belly, open the chest a little bit, take the gaze forward and up. And as you exhale, reverse all of that, round through the spine, drop your gaze. Nice. Inhale, come back to that nice soft belly, lifted heart. And second exhale, we'll take a bow, taking your hips back towards your heels. And we're going to take this with the breath. Inhale, rise to all fours. Yeah, gaze forward. And then exhale, round. Inhale, release, soften. Nice. And exhale, hips all the way back, child's pose. And again, take this a few more times at your own pace. First, exhale, really expanding the back body. And then softening, softening on the in-breath. Allowing your gaze to be an extension of the movement of your spine. And as you come into a bow this last time, we're going to pause here in child's pose. And again, close your eyes. Turn your attention inward. Sensing the heaviness of the hips and how that can create a lot of space for the breath in your back body. All the way up through behind the lungs. And on your next inhale, come all the way up to all fours. And so we're going to change it up now and give the front body an opportunity to really receive the breath. So when you're ready, come on down to your belly. We're going to take a little back bend here. Yeah, go ahead and turn one cheek to your ground. Let's find the resting position first. So in this first position, really softening through the upper back, letting the shoulder blades broaden, like no effort at all in this resting place. And this will be the movement of the out-breath, the exhale. On your inhale, you're going to come into a locust pose. Yeah, so turning the palms in a bit, shoulder blades a little bit together, and a nice sense of back body strength. And on the next out-breath, you can turn your head toward me, opposite side, and fully rest, even just giving those shoulders to the earth. Yeah. Okay, so let's take that with the breath. Inhale, rising. And as you exhale, release and really surrender your weight to the earth. Inhale, rising, gazing forward. And exhale, letting go. As you take a few more at your own pace, notice how the in-breath actually helps you rise. The breath is supporting this action. And the out-breath is just inviting you to let go and receive. And we're going to pause for a few breaths in the locust pose. So next time you inhale and rise, go ahead and stay there. I want you to have the sense that when you breathe in, there's a little bit of rise that happens, not so much from effort, but just from the breath and staying connected to your breath. Every out-breath, there might be a little bit of a sense of sinking and release, and just honoring that natural rhythm of your breath that gives a sense of resilience to the pose. One more full breath, let it expand. And as you exhale, really let it go. Turn one cheek to the mat. And go ahead and interlock your hands, right there on your lower back. And see if you can sense now the literal movement of the breath that is available in the lower back. Noticing a quality of softness in the back body. And how the front body expands into the support of the mat underneath you. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes again. Bring your hands next to your chest. We're going to push up on an exhale back to all fours and find a nice spine twist, a big spiraling movement through the whole body. So let's begin by taking the right leg back, toes on the ground like you're in a lunge, so really rooted here. And you'll take the opposite arm forward and up in a big arc. This is all in the in-breath. And as you exhale, circle it all the way around and come back to all fours, gazing nice and steady right to the earth. Okay, so let's take the other side. Inhale, right arm and left leg, expand and circle. Exhale all the way back to center. And we're going to find the flow of the breath with this. Inhale, reach. Yeah. And exhale, draw in. Inhale, reach. And exhale in. And take a couple more rounds at your own pace, sensing the turning of your heart. And really inviting the gaze, your mental energy, your attention. Let that travel with the turning of your heart. Let it follow your heart and the gesture of your arm. One more breath. And on your next inhale, let's come into the position and hold for a couple of breaths. Just so you have a sense of connecting to that rooting down through the back toes, rooting down through the front arm, allowing the hips to spiral a bit so that the heart has more freedom, and then really entering into that turning of the heart and the gaze all the way up to the fingertips. One more big breath here. And as you exhale, close through center. And take the second side at your own pace. Allowing the heart to turn, the gaze to follow the gesture. Filling it up with breath. And on your next exhale, again, bring it all back home. Okay, now we're going to take a breathing stretch, right, for the lats, the sides of your body. So come on down to all fours on your elbows. Yeah. Let's turn your right hand so it comes right behind your left elbow. And then you're going to slide your left hand really far forward as your hips pull back. So it's almost like downward facing dog with just one arm. And let your head rest nice and heavy. And with any luck, you're feeling some sensation right around here in the side body. If you wanted to feel a little bit more sensation and it were available to you, you could actually rotate this arm so the thumb turns up to the ceiling and then out to the side. And you could see how that feels if you'd like. Yeah, how's that feel? Oh, all right. And keep breathing right here into the space. And on an exhale, turn that palm back down. And inhale, come back up to all forearms. Yeah, and then let's take the left hand behind the right elbow and reach in opposite directions. Hips back, hand forward, head resting. getting kind of heavy through this right side of the rib cage. So there's a little bit of a twist happening. And as you tune into sensation here, if it's not too much, if this is feeling nice and maybe even a little bit neutral, you could try spinning that forearm, thumb toward me. Yeah, and letting that come all the way from the upper arm turning. Breathing right into the side of your body. One more big breath. And use your exhale to reground your palm. Inhale, come up to all fours. And now it's up to you. Do you want to take downward facing dog or child's pose? You could take either one. Downward facing dog. And notice in this pose from that opening we just created, how much sense of clear intention there is from hands to hips. There's so much room now to root down and reach up. And as you root even more firmly down through your palms, have this sense of reaching back into space. And then let's come down and rest in child's pose for a few breaths. And again, just sensing the back body breathing, chest breathing, belly breathing. On an inhale, come all the way up. And our last pose is going to be to help bring the breath really into the front of the heart and the sides of the heart. So you can stretch your legs out in front of you, like in staff pose. Yeah, and then take the hands a little bit behind you so that you've got enough room to then draw the spine into your body, the sense of the collarbones broadening and the arm bones moving back. And from all that strength in your back body, a tremendous sense of space and now even breath around the front of the heart and the sides of your heart. You can let your gaze drop a bit to your own core, to your toes. And with each breath in, have this sense of literally breathing life right into where you know your lungs are in the rib cage and to the heart in between the lungs. Almost as if you could breathe directly in and out of the front of the chest. One more breath in, nice and patient. And as you exhale, go ahead and come back up to a kind of more neutral position. You can have your blanket back. And we're just going to check in with that space that you created around the heart and around the chest. So let's start by bringing the hands down to the sides of the rib cage. You can think of it as being like the sides of your lungs and the sides of your heart. See if you can sense that movement that's present there as you breathe in. How truly three-dimensional the heart is and the breath is. And then bring your hands to your chest, maybe under the collarbones or at your sternum. And as you rest your hands on the chest, sense the front of the heart expanding into your palms. And it's in this spaciousness of the heart that we're going to rest for a couple of minutes. And you're welcome to stay here in a seated meditation, or if you prefer, you could lie down in a relaxation pose. As you find a place to settle into, really drop your attention to this feeling of space around the heart. And you could do that either physically by keeping the hands at the heart, or just mentally having the sense of descending into the sensation that is present around your heart and around the breath. And as you sense the breath here and you sense this movement of the breath, notice that there is a quality of stillness that coexists with that flow of the breath. And in this place of stillness, I invite you to ask yourself the following questions and just see if anything arises. And sometimes just asking the questions is enough. Just holding the space for the answer to arise throughout your day. In my heart of hearts, what is it that I really want? What in my own life am I ready to show up for? When I am the best version of myself, the most centered, the most courageous, what do I want to give my energy and attention to? And if you'd like, you could continue to stay in the state of meditation or relaxation as long as you like. And when you're ready, taking some part of this clarity, this sense of self-trust into the rest of your day. Thank you for practicing with me today.